Hey there, Greg Hessel, ReGeneration Resources, and today I want to talk to you about why strategic plans sometimes don't get implemented. Recently, I've had a number of clients say to me, hey, Greg, we're pretty good at planning. We have great plans. We did a strategic plan a couple of years ago. We had great goals that came out of it. We're just not really good at implementing the goals. In other words, the plan pretty much sits on a shelf. And unfortunately, that's pretty common. In fact, some studies have shown that about 75% of all strategic plans are never implemented. And so today I want to talk to you about why that is and what you can do about it. So the first and perhaps the most important reason that sometimes strategic plans don't get implemented has to do with organizational bandwidth. And bandwidth is an issue in almost any organization I consult to. People are trying to do too much. Their work may not be sustainable. It's even more of an issue with many nonprofits because funders sometimes don't pay for staff time. So if bandwidth is an issue, what can you do about it? So first of all, strategy is about focus, and sometimes that means stopping doing something as well as starting to do something. If the strategic plan just generates a list of things to do and it doesn't give you focus and you're not letting go of anything, then capacity is going to be an issue because you're going to need more people power to get it done because you're adding stuff to it. Really, strategy should be about focus. Focus means let's focus on these things and not prioritize those things. And so you may have to look at what can you let go of doing. Secondly, it may be that you have to add staffing, at least in the short term. Think about temp workers, think about assistants for your executive directors. And finding new ways to collaborate can be a way to get out of this capacity constraint. I had a nonprofit leader once say to me, everybody is dealing with capacity constraints. And to me, that says we just have to collaborate more. And then finally, thinking about, can you leverage your strengths in new ways? Leveraging strengths always takes less energy and people power than overcoming weaknesses. So thinking about leveraging strengths is another way to deal with the capacity constraint. In addition to capacity, sometimes strategic plans sit on shelves because there's no action plan. You might have great ideas, but if you don't write on paper who's going to do what by when, so that those great ideas get implemented, then there's probably not going to be many results that flow from it. Third, there might be the general lack of accountability in the organization. The board isn't holding the executive director accountable. The executive director isn't holding their staff accountable. Accountability is an issue. Things may not get done. And then fourth, reporting matters. If you keep your strategic plan alive by doing some kind of quarterly report to the board, if you're a nonprofit, it's much more likely that there's going to be traction and that the action items in the plan are actually going to get done. So finding a reporting rhythm and reporting regularly is going to ensure that it's not one of those 3/4 of plans that sits on shelves. And finally, if your strategic plan involves some kind of cultural change, it may have a difficult time getting some traction to get implemented. And that's because people in the organization are thinking, they want us to do that, but we don't do that here. That's not how we operate. And if it pushes against the cultural assumptions and norms, then you might want to think of some kind of change management plan. I hope this helps. I'll have more tips for you real soon. Give me your feedback. Thank you very much.